Wagwan me people, quick thing before we kick off. The views where you hear upon the Father to Father podcast, them strictly for why, the hosts, guests and contributors. Them now represent Catholic Notebook, Spirit Stream Studios, the Diocese, University, or any affiliated groups. You see me? And remember, this podcast are strictly for adult ears, so listen up with discretion.
Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet. A place for the soul, where wisdom speaks. Hope in the message, strength in the beat. Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet.
Hey, man. How's it going, man?
Not much.
It's been wild. It's been wild. You know, I've been staying up late, just doing like random research and stuff. And I came across like these random numbers. Just stay with me, all right? Just stay with me.
That's how you know it's going to be wild.
Welcome to the Father podcast, everybody. I'm Dr. Giovanni, and with me is my right hand, my main man,
Father Greg Lambert.
Hey, so here's what I'm saying. I've been doing the things, I've been running the numbers, and like, I don't know, somehow I fell across this whole thing about OnlyFans. Now, just stay with me, okay? Just stay with me. And like, it was kind of weird because I was like, I was looking up, I was teaching this class about relationships, and I was like, hey, someone had mentioned OnlyFans in class. I'm like, I wonder how many people actually are on OnlyFans.
A lot.
1 to 2% of the U.S. population. Women are on OnlyFans, which is about like, there's 130 million women in the U.S., so 1 to 2%. So you're looking at like, 2 million, 3 million people?
That's a ton.
Yeah, I know. Which is like, that's a rough number. And then the people that consume OnlyFans, it's like 2 to 3 million a month, which is approximately like 75 to 90 million people. But then the thing that killed me was like that, like when you did boil down the numbers and you started to like really look and deep it, 5 kept coming up over and over again. And I was just like, hey, yo, what? Because at the end of the day, all you need is to open up a new browser and scroll over and click 5 stars.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Because you love us. And, 5 stars is more important than going on OnlyFans. Because you know what?
Oh.
We are better than anything that you would ever find on OnlyFans.
But it's not the same type of clientele.
It's not.
We promise.
It's not. But seriously, 90 million men are doing it. Like, dog, if I had to throw a rock, I'm pretty sure somebody listened to Father podcast and they stopped and they go, maybe I should stop watching OnlyFans.
I mean, I would assume.
That's what I'm saying. So 5
I hope
stars.
so.
Everybody 5 stars. Because that number kept repeating. So 5 stars. Wait, you know what I'm saying?
Dog, the website's going to crash. Look at people when we thinking. Nah, fam. No, I'm a whole priest.
Dude, that was such a big that was such a big wind up. And watching you go like, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? And I'm like, open up a new browser. You're like, oh. Yeah. Those are numbers.
Golly.
I had to figure out new ways to say this because I've been saying it the same way over and over and no one's taking me seriously. So yeah, now you won't take me seriously.
Do we have 5 stars? Have people?
We have a couple of 5 stars.
I mean, I get. Cool.
We get 5 stars because, like, here's the thing: the weird thing about like anything you put on, unless you ask people, like, "Yo, make sure you do this," they don't actually do it. They literally go like, "Oh, that's wild," and then just keep going, and then give it to a friend or give it to whoever, and they'll be like, "Okay, cool." But they don't actually like comment, subscribe. Unless you say, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe on this video? People don't like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Like legit.
Yeah.
Like you see like analytics go down. And even for podcasts and stuff, unless they say like, hey, yo, make sure you give us 5 stars, comment down below, people don't do it. It is the wildest thing. And I'm just like, how you not? But then I look at myself and I go like, how many times do I actually like go back to like, I don't know, Wendy's and go on their like Google page and be like, it was a great experience. Like, it's like, I don't do that. I don't do that at all.
I don't remember the last time I liked a YouTube video. Maybe like in 2009. It doesn't mean I don't like the video. I will save videos to go back
I'll do
to,
that.
I won't like them.
I have a whole backlog of like just videos over the years that I just saved. And I'm like, yes, these are great videos. And every once in a while when I get bored, I just watch them.
I have like a rotation of like 8 or 9 that I use for the gym.
Yeah. Like motivation videos?
No, I don't do motivation.
Oh, excuse me, Mister. I wake up and I piss motivation. Like I guess not all of us can be successful and humble at the same time.
Oh my god!
Like you mastered that skill. Like okay, fine, that's fine, whatever.
I got enough drive and spite inside me forever. No one needs to motivate me.
If he dies, he dies. Hey, you ready to get started? All right.
Hey, tell me, baby, what's the word on the street? Is it love or is it lies beneath our
And today I messed up. So having a reverse dream went out. I told them to make it shorter. They made it shorter. They listened. They synthesized and they present it back to us as this. Today I messed up. They went to Catholic communities and asked, "How did you mess up today?" And this is what they responded. Today I messed up by lying about how to swim to impress my girlfriend's family. They have a lake house.
Are you okay? I'm fine. He's doing okay.
I will tell you this for free. I'm never going to do that. I've drowned twice in my life. I don't need to drown again. I've drowned twice in my life at the same swimming pool just because the lifeguards wanted to get checkers, dog. They wanted to get checkers, dog. It wasn't even for something good. They just wanted to get checkers.
I bet it was the best checkers I ever had too.
It was the limited, okay, this is back when Checkers had like the grilled cheese double decker type of thing. So it was like instead of buns. Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know, if you don't live next to a place that has a Checkers or a Riley's, I think it's what it's called now. Rallies.
Yeah.
There's a time period where they had what was called a grilled cheese patty melt burger with Cajun fries, and it also came with, you had the option to get the buffalo chicken wing extension with the
With the biggest of backs. Oh my god!
You could get the buffalo chicken wing extension that came with like there's more. Yeah. That came with fries and a milkshake. Unpick my bag, say I'll it again. Undo these clogged arteries. That's hurting my life. Yo, but yeah, you could. So it was that, or you can get, instead of the chicken wing extension, buffalo chicken wing extension, you could get the what was affectionately known in the community as the poo poo platter extension, which basically was just jalapeno poppers and fried shrimp and tater tots instead of Cajun fries, and they all had the Cajun seasoning on it.
Goodness.
Yeah, so it's so you can get a double or a triple. So it's 3 patties or 2.
You can get 3. Don't ever tell me America isn't the greatest country in the world. If you want triple patties with grilled cheese for buns, with some grilled onions, with some jalapeno poppers.
No, let me describe this to you. Bottom bun, grilled cheese, which the grilled cheese, mind you, is a sesame seed bun that has been inverted with 2 different types of cheeses.
Bruh.
Right? Grilled. Then you have lettuce, tomato, patty, cheese, special sauce, patty, caramelized onions, grilled jalapenos, tomato, and then the bun on top. That was like the original way. And then they realized, oh, yay, listen, that's a lot of lettuce, tomato, patty, cheese,
That's a
patty,
lot.
cheese. They're like, okay, you know what? Let's cut it back. And then you could get 2 or 3 patties, depending on what you wanted. But you still had the extensions that you can get too. Guess how much the extension was back in the day?
Like what, $15?
No. For the whole meal?
For the whole meal.
Whole meal. How much of a whole meal was? Like, keep in mind, you get the patty melt burger, which is 2 or 3 patties, plus 4 chicken wings, plus a milkshake, plus fries.
But this is back in the good old days before inflation.
Yeah. Plus fries. Plus fries. And you could make the chicken wings an 8-piece instead of a 4-piece for 50 cents.
I'm going to go on a limb and say $22.
$10.99. What? It's $10.99, dog. It was $10. It was $10. And that gave you all of that for like $10. And it came with a 32-ounce drink.
Golly.
So everybody went, if you didn't get any of that and you just wanted burgers, let's say you wanted a bag of burgers was $20. And you got like 4 or 5 burgers. That's it. So they went to Checkers. Like, so I was a little kid at the swimming pool with my group, all that stuff. We were doing something. I'm like, I'm swimming. And then they're like, hey, yo, Gio, you want to do a handstand? I'm like, yeah, dope. Let's do handstands. So I'm doing handstands. And then my necklace that I always wear gets sucked into the jet stream in the pool, and then my collar, because I'm wearing a t-shirt, gets sucked into the jet stream.
Ooh. And
so I'm trying to get up. I can't get up. My legs are kicking, and people are like, "Oh, Gio's doing it!" And I'm just like, "I'm not. This is not gonna be good.
You ain't gonna make it.
I'm not gonna make it." I black out. I wake up and I just see the lifeguards come back. He's eating the the grilled cheese. He's like, hey, what happened? Man, this is spicy? It's good. He's like, what happened? Is he dead? It's like, I'm like, and I drowned. Then I had to go in the kiddie pool. They didn't even like take me out. They just put me in the kiddie pool, which is like an inch deep. They're like, what the heck? Then literally the next week we go back to the same pool. Lifeguards leave again. The same guy who saved me, I found this out later. Same guy who saved me was like, yeah, I saw your feet kicking. And then I said, I don't think the kid should be kicking his feet up in the air for like 30 seconds.
Oh.
He's been underwater for way too long there, and he got told by my counselor, that's fine. Gio's kind of weird anyways. He does he's done amazing weird things since the summer camp has started. I'm not surprised that he's down there for like 2 minutes. Good. And the guy's like, I don't think he's doing an amazing thing. So he jumps in, pulls me out. The next week, they're like, Gio, no handstands. I'm like, bet, no handstands. They're like, Gio, you can't wear a shirt in the pool. I'm like, I was self-conscious about my body. And I said, okay, bet, no shirt in the pool. I'm sitting there, minding my own business. My trouser trunks get stuck in the jet stream again. I was just like, son of a, and I'm trying to get up, but these kids are like throwing water at my face because they're noticing I'm not getting up or moving, and they're throwing water at my face, and the water's just washing over me. And so I'm like, I can't breathe. And I'm like, please stop doing this. I can't. And I'm just swallowing water, and at a certain point I just black out.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, same dude comes in. He's like, I don't think Gio's doing this on purpose. He pulls me out again, and I wake up and I just see the dude eating the chicken wings from Checkers. So he's like, what happened? I'm like, yo, that pool is still open to this day, by the way.
Back to the kiddie pool for you.
I don't go swimming anymore. So yeah, you messed up. I don't even know what you did, but we messed up. Anyways, he said, today I messed up by trying to impress my girlfriend's family. They had a lake house. Dad asked if I can swim. I said, like a fish. Turns out fish don't panic, inhale water, and nearly need to be rescued by a Labrador and her 10-year-old nephew who had to throw me a noodle. I don't speak to them right now.
Yeah, you messed up.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have lied. There's no harm in saying you can't swim.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind though, like it's the girl's family. You trying to make a good impression. You're just like, hey, yo, it's like you can swim like a fish, and you don't expect them to follow through. He's like, great, get your butt in the pool. You're like, ah.
That's why I never say stuff like that.
All right, next one. Today I messed up. Misusing the Bible for drama. We had a fight. I wanted my wife to think God was calling her out, so I highlighted the Lord has something against you in Revelation and left it open on her side of the bed. She came in crying, but not for the reason I hoped. Her mother had just died. Oh, now we're in therapy.
What?
Yeah, he went into the Bible and was like, Jesus is going to have something to say about this. The Lord is against you. Bah. And then she walks in like, Mom just died. The Lord is even against me. No. Yo, that stings, dog.
Yeah, it does.
That's like the horrible timing.
That's why we don't use the word of God for petty reasons.
Hey, facts. All right, today I messed up by playing dead during a fire drill.
Why? Why on earth would that be the time to do that?
I worked in theater and we were doing a safety drill, and I thought it would be funny to pretend to be crushed under a fake beam. The EMTs were called. I was not asked back to the production. The beam was foam.
Oh my gosh. You know, the person who found her was traumatized.
Facts.
Traumatized.
Facts. Also, I like the fact that you're like, this is a woman. You're like, this is a woman.
Everyone was thinking the same thing. It's not just me. It's not just me.
You're like, this is a weird drama girl that just likes attention. This ain't a dude.
I've dealt with this a lot. I just have. All right.
Like, it gave no gender. It's just like, man, you know the girl who found her was just like, oh my gosh, Jennifer.
Well, you can see it, right?
Everybody can see it.
Okay.
Tell me, baby, what's the word on the street? Is it love or is it lies beneath our feet? I'm holding on, but the world feels incomplete. Tell me, baby, what's the word on the tree? Is it hope? Is it fear?
Yo, Father Greg, Dr. G, what's good? I know it sounds clear, I know it's misunderstood. The story's wild, yes, out there, no doubt, but just lean in close, just hear me out.
I got told about this. This has a little bit of cursing in it.
I hope these people are. I hope the people who are in the
Hear me out?
Yeah,
They did. We're going to do an episode with responses because we have some people who responded back to us from the first 12 episodes of Hear Me Out.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And when we do that, dog, I really there's a part of me that's going to be like, hey, yo, listen, we're revisiting your case, but like, nah.
The appeal process.
It's like, nah. All right. This one. All right. So you ready for Hear Me Out? Mm-hmm. All right. Hear me out. Well, you already know the deal. 5 stars, you're in the clear. 1 star, listen. Listen. Ain't no matter. Listen, you the problem. Like, go to confession.
Ain't no mountain high, no valley low.
Ain't no river long enough to justify your foolishness. All right. Oh man, I am wide awake right now. Listen. Okay, so Father Greg, I just gonna let you know this. I had to say Father Greg because I was about to say the other word, but I can't say the other word. All right. Redacted. I just gonna let you know this right now. This one, I was told, is they tried their best to remove a lot of the cursing, but sometimes it just didn't work, so they might have left some cursing in there.
This sounds lazy, but okay.
Well, they're like, we can't, because they're like something, because even in the Hear Me Out, they're like, yeah, we put jerk instead of asshole. And they're like, because asshole was like one of those like, is that? And I'm like, well, let's just err on the side of caution in terms of that. Let's just kind of do whatever. That's all I'm saying.
All right, bet.
All right. But hear me out. Is it bad? I pointed out he was a jerk if at the end of the day she's happier.
That sounds like they broke up a happy marriage.
Name's Marcus, 36. Brother's Elijah, 34. He was married to Jasmine, 33, for 9 years.
That sounds so aggressive. What happened to Jasmine?
I don't know. We all go to the same Catholic church. Small town, old pews. Everybody knows your name.
He's burning through details. Like, let's get to the crux of the situation. Tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. Like, I can see it. Oh my gosh!
He's like, we go to the same church. Small town, old pews. Everybody knows your name, your business, what casserole you brought at the funeral lunch. All right. 3 months ago, Elijah came out as gay to Jasmine. No, no warning, no gentle sit down. Just mid argument, blurted out, "I'm gay." I've been miserable. I can't pretend no more. She froze, stunned, didn't yell back. All she said was, "Let's go to counseling. Let's figure it out." He said, "You've been holding me back. You want a fake husband." Then he told her, "Pack your bags. Get out of my house." So he kicked her out of the house. Her name's on the lease. Her photo's on the wall. Now she's at her mom's house, sleeping in her childhood bedroom. Excuse me. Now she's at her mom's house, sleeping on her childhood bedroom. A place she hadn't been in about a decade because a man lied to her. Now, here's what sent me over the edge. Tell me if I'm wrong. Make this make sense. Elijah goes online 2 weeks later and posts a self-congratulatory manifesto on Facebook. Sometimes you have to stop living someone else's script to finally breathe. I couldn't satisfy her expectation. Only God can. Be free. Be real.
Okay.
The church ladies ate it up. Wow, Elijah, so brave. You walking in your truth. Prayers restrained. Meanwhile, Jasmine is the one getting whispers at church, getting whispers at mass. People assuming she cheated and she wasn't supportive, that she drove him away. She didn't say a word. She kept showing up to church, volunteering like nothing happened. Then the bake sale. Last Sunday, Parish Hall, folding tables. He's like, I don't need small details. What does the folding tables matter? I don't know. It's like last Sunday, Parish Hall, folding tables, brownies, flowered aprons. Jasmine was there, restocking lemon bars. I'm standing next to the raffle table. Miss Lorraine, that old wig wearing certified gospel passive aggressive prayer warrior, leans over to Jasmine and says, and I quote, "Maybe if you would have known how to satisfy your man, he wouldn't have need to find another woman."
Oh.
Like it was a joke. I snapped, "This redacted is gay."
Oh no. Because now everybody's yelling. She's yelling, old lady yelling.
I stood up. Nah, let's get something straight. Elijah didn't leave Jasmine because she failed him. He left because he's gay. And didn't have the guts to tell her until he already had another man lined up. Ooh. She didn't cheat. She didn't push him away. She got kicked out of her own home for being in the way of his outcoming party. And she didn't say a damn thing. She didn't say a damn word to anybody, but while you dragged her through filth. And Miss Lorraine, respectfully, what you know about keeping a man? You got divorced twice. Last time I checked, if Father Leon made you do that annul thing, you and Mr. Johnson just living in sin. So redacted all the way off my girl. Everybody went silent. Even the folding chairs looking guilty. Elijah was in the room, standing there like he wanted to melt into the ground. I turned to Jasmine and said, "You ain't going back to your mom's. Pack your bags. You stand with me."
Oh.
And that's where she's been. We watch TV, eat takeout. Every now and then she cries. Not because he's gay, but because he lied to her for 9 years and then got to walk away with applause. Now my family's pissed. My mom's like, you choosing a white woman over blood? I mean, Jasmine is bad. She's pregnant now with my kids. So.
Oh, that's a technical foul. What?
She's pregnant now with my kid. So facts. Father Leon said we should have waited till the annulling thing.
Of course he did, Leon.
But redacted. He's like, but redacted? She's a junior partner at a good law firm, and I work as a regional sales executive. I just made the C-suite. I need that. And she's Catholic. My brother fumbled the bag, dog. He literally wrote, my brother fumbled the bag, dog. 9 years, no kid. One afternoon, pregnant. And she's happier. So I see it. She feels free. I love my brother. I always will. But being gay doesn't absolve you for being an a-hole. So, hear me out. Is it bad I pointed out he was a jerk if in the end she's happier and got a kid and a solid fiance?
My head hurts.
Stop. I haven't laughed this hard.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Are you ready for a recap?
I guess.
All right. Here's what's going on. Marcus is very matter of fact on certain things. He's like, yo, we just got to keep going about something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like he was typing it and he was like, listen, 2 stars, 1 heart, 1 blue. So Marcus, Elijah, and Jasmine. Marcus and Elijah are brothers. Jasmine's a girl. Jasmine and Elijah were married for like 9 years. Turns out Elijah's gay. Comes out to Jasmine like all of a sudden, then kicks her out of the house. Mm-hmm. She ends up leaving, going back to her mom's house. Marcus feels a certain type of way about it, and he's just like, I'm not gonna really get involved. But then Elijah goes online and starts saying like, sometimes you got to stop living someone else's script and like, you know, all this stuff. That turns out really bad for Jasmine because ultimately there's all these whispers and all this stuff that's going on. Then we get into Miss Lorraine. Miss Lorraine is what tipped him over. He says, this redacted is gay. Like, he was just like, I can't with this. Like, the only reason why they broke up is because he came out and said he was gay. He's like, I'm not even clowning him for being gay. I'm just saying, hey, if you're gay, you're gay. Stop trying to make it seem like Jasmine's the one that cheated on you. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, you know what? Nah, which is the wildest flex of all time. He just said, you're not going home. You're coming with me. I'm not going to your mama's house. You're coming back with me. You live with me now. And it's like, yeah, she's cool. We eat takeout. We watch TV.
She cries every now and again.
She cries every now and again. And then he goes to the club. He's like, not because he's gay, but just because like he lied to her for 9 years, which is, that's an intense thing.
That's an intense lie to have.
Mid-conversation. Mm-hmm. No warning, no nothing. Not like, hey, I'm struggling with this. And Jasmine even said like, yo, let's go to counseling. Let's try to figure this out. He's like, nah. You're just trying to hold me back. And then he's just like, yeah. And then like he's like, yeah, so you know, we got a new life now. She's my fiance. She's a junior partner at a law firm, and she's pregnant. And finally, I was like, yo, you should have gotten an annulment. He calls it an annul thing.
An annul. Yeah, he said it twice. I caught it twice.
He told Miss Lorraine, you and Mr. like, unless Father Leon made you do the annul thing, you and Mr. Johnson have been living in sin, which is wild to me. Mm-hmm. That's a wild bit of theology and a wild bit of like accurate.
Yeah,
it's
accurate. Yeah.
It's accurate, but still, it's just like they threw it out there, and then he's just like, "Yo, she Catholic, she's this, she's that. You fumbled the bag, dog, and she's a junior partner. Like, how you gonna?" 9 years, no kid, one afternoon, pregnant. How you gonna? Yo, but like, yo, to be fair, Father Leon said I should have waited. I mean, I.
Yes, you should have. You should have waited.
He's like,
my goodness.
But I need that though. I need it. Hey, listen. So that's what it's like. So he's like, yo, is it bad that what I did bad? What you think? Let me give you runway. Go.
Man, okay. So first and foremost, I want to go ahead and acknowledge the very complex and painful situation Jasmine finds herself in. Because 9 years of a marriage, to find out this individual, I'm assuming knew when he got married that he was at least probably, I don't know, curious about being gay.
Okay,
It doesn't really say.
Let me illuminate you a little bit. This is just from a psychological standpoint. When it comes to sexuality, a lot of sexuality gets confused. Like, people think, and this is where people get really upset and politicized. They're like, you're either born this way or you become that way over time, right? And it's a little bit, it's more of a conditioning over time. So it's what you get exposed to. So for example, if you were to watch a particular type of media repeatedly, then whatever you watch in that media, you would find yourself attracted to. And so, like, you see this with people who are addicted to pornography.
Yeah.
It's not as, like, they have a lot of dysfunction, like erectile dysfunction and things like that, but that's not because the pornography is causing the erectile dysfunction. It's because what they're watching is not replicated in real life. Because if they are watching something that they can actually replicate in real life, they would not see a level of dysfunction. And so, in this case, you could have a natural proclivity towards one thing or the other, but it's going to require you, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual, it's going to require you to add layers of conditioning to reinforce one direction or the other. So in his case, he probably just started off as being like, I don't really know. But then through a series of experiences, he started to condition himself in a particular firm direction. And then was feeling very conflicted about it over the course of 9 years. That's typically what happens. And so you do have these, like, very weird subsets. And there are situations where a man desires homosexual sex, however, is more than willing to stay with his wife and have sex with the wife. But only her. And that's it. And so it's this interesting dynamic that exists where it's like, I have these desires, but I am motivated and willing to continue to engage because I love you in this sense. It's beyond a pragmatic love. I still desire you passionately.
Yeah.
So that passionate love exists. And for him, the passionate love was gone. So there was no more of that sexual motivation to be with her. And so it's like, well, if that sexual motivation is not there, what else is there? The pragmatic love is not enough for me to maintain that, or even the familial love is not enough for me to maintain that because I haven't established a family in my mind.
Oh man.
That's what it would look like just from a practical, purely psychological standpoint.
The fact that she got essentially booted from her home.
Yeah, her name was on the lease. And he was like, her name is on that lease.
And she could easily just flip the script on him and be just like, say, get out of my house.
Yeah.
But she didn't do that. She went back to her mom's house, a place that she hasn't been in a long time, in her childhood home, wondering how it all went wrong.
Yeah.
Was it something that she could have done? Should she have seen something beforehand? And all this is to say, like, if this is, like, and thank you for that answer. If this is something that he at least had an idea of before he got married, then this is something it should have been brought up a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been brought up a long time ago before you guys decided to link yourselves to each other in the sacrament of marriage. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's the the criminality of it.
Yeah. But the unfortunate reality is, like, it's far more common for it to exist within, like, for couples to have issues in terms of physical, emotional, and mental intimacy after the third year of marriage. Because that's when you start to get into early marriage mode.
Yeah.
And so like that third year is like the first cut of divorce. And then after that third year, you get into like the middle marriage years, which is like 8 to 20 years of marriage. And that's the second cut of divorce. So if divorce is going to happen, it's either going to happen very early on or it's going to happen after year 8 in that time span. If there's kids, it's less likely to happen because people become very pragmatic. Nowadays, that logic has gone out the window because people don't care. Kids are accessories now. They're not actually human beings anymore.
That's very unfortunate.
But like for the sexuality development thing, though, people don't know what they like sexually until they get into a relationship, until they get married and they start having sex. And then you have that like, well, this is the only time I'm going to explore this. So let's explore. And that's where you get into that question of like, where is the actual hard lines for like sex in the church? Because like, if I'm not supposed to have sex beforehand, right? And I do have sex when I'm married,
Yeah.
how far can I actually go? Like, what is considered okay and what is not considered okay? Is all forms of foreplay okay? Are all forms of sex okay? Are all and if I want to try different things, the only way for me to try it was within the context of marriage. And that's usually when you start to like experiment and you go, well, I kind of like that. Does that make me gay now? I don't know. And you want to go down that route. And that doesn't come until with like the second or third year of marriage.
Well, that's a good question. Well, when it comes to sex in general, it's a gift from God, right?
Yeah.
So that also means that the individual that has been given to you through this sacrament is also like someone that's a gift for you in your own life, in your own spirituality as well. And you guys are going to try and get each other closer to God for the rest of your life, right? You guys are one flesh. You can't lop off a piece of your flesh and be like, I'll come with you, Jesus, for this other part. I'll leave you. I can leave her. It's fine. Like, you can't do that. She doesn't run fast enough for me. I can't with her. Lop it off. You can't do that. You guys are one flesh. So when it comes to sex, and particularly, the sex that happens is supposed to be not just gratifying towards yourself, but gratifying towards the other. So that also means that the other person must receive and must be looked at with a certain amount of dignity that God looks at them.
Okay.
So that being said, when it comes to foreplay, and when it comes to sex, and when it comes to where the line is, if we get to the point where your other part of your flesh, your spouse, man or woman, right? If it gets to the point where that individual, that their dignity is not respected, it's too far.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. That's interesting. So, what's your rating?
I want to make sure that I get this right because we talked a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
No. When it comes to the original question,
The original question is like, did I do something? Like, basically, he just wants to know, what is it? But hear me out. Was it bad that I pointed out that he was a jerk if at the end of the day she's happier?
well, if we're judging off of that question, then no.
we
but that's
never
not what
judge-
happened.
we
That's
never
not what
judge-
happened.
we never
That's
judge-
not what he did. That's not what he did.
He said, run me that. And said, I'm going to lock her up. And also get this ring. Also, keep doing your thing, girl. Keep being junior partner.
Also, Mrs. Johnson, you can kick rocks. Like, that's what he did.
Yeah, that's what he did.
And I'm not all the way against that. I'm really not. Like,
Really not. I'm going to give him a 3. Just because, like, he started off as a 5.
Yeah.
And then, like, with Miss Johnson, like, he's like, all right, cool. I'll keep you as a 5. And then, like, he started, like, and then he started going in on Miss Johnson. I'm like, all right, the 4.
and then we skipped the annulment. And I was like, 3. 3.
Yeah. Well, but then he started feeling like, yeah, he's just gay. Like, what the? I was like, hey, yo, you could have just chill, dog.
No, because I feel that. Like, I get it. I've been in a situation like that. Not with this situation. But I've been in a situation where, like, I am choosing to omit what this person did for
Right.
the sake of staying out of it because it's not my business.
Right.
Also, it's their own life journey.
Right.
But you guys are persecuting someone who is doing the right thing, is going above and beyond to love the person who is trespassing against them. That's what Jesus would have done.
Right. And she's still going to church.
Yes.
She's still doing she's still being
Yes.
active in church. And these busybodies are sitting there going like, you cheated on your husband. If she did, who cares?
Exactly. Also, that's none of your business. Also, where's your husband, Mrs. Johnson?
It's Miss Lorraine.
You lost both. You want to explain on Facebook how that happened to you? How both times? That's you a 2-time loser. In the U.S. government, you lose one more time, you go to jail for the rest of your life.
Hey, listen, you lose one election, they don't run you twice unless you Joe Biden.
Unless you Hillary Clinton, and I don't feel like killing myself. I just want to be sure.
Hey, we can't say that. But you know what? Here it is. Hear me out.
Lighting the night. Every beat's a heartbeat, shining so bright. Truth and mercy, woven so tight. The story lives on in rhythm and light.
So, some people know this, some people don't. This gets thrown out as like a tagline of like, yo, be careful, she-bear. Da-da-da-da. But Elijah and the she-bear is a wild story, but only if you read it in the New International Version. You have to read the New International Version. You cannot read any other version, because any other version kind of like dumbs it down a little bit and it's like, oh yeah, he went to these children, they were making fun of him, and then he's saying bears. No. The New International Version drives home the point and the quote that is in there. So you have Elijah, and Elijah's just like, all he's doing is going up the road to Bethel. That's it. He's going up the road to Bethel, minding his own business, being a prophet. Now, keep in mind, he just got handed the mantle of prophet from he's Elisha, and he got handed the mantle of prophet from Elijah. So Elijah he just watched Elijah get carried up in a chariot of fire. Oof. You know, like he saw the wheel. He's like, oh my gosh. And then like the cloak falls upon him, and he's like, yo, you next. And he's like, oh my gosh.
The wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
Dog. And it's just like, you listen, okay, I guess I'm next. And so this is where his mindset's at, right? But he's just walking, minding his own business. And then you have these kids that are playing and whatever, and they're taunting him. And then but you got to keep in mind, like, you're like, oh yeah, they're little kids. What? And you're sitting there going like, why would little kids be taunting this guy? Especially since like it doesn't make any sense in the context of like Middle East culture. Like there is some like nice playful like jeering, but for the most part, kids wouldn't really be attacking adults aggressively, especially when an adult is just minding his own business, right? And they tell him to get out. They're telling him specifically, get out. And so it was very, very interesting. And so when you read the New International Version, it literally says, the boys jeer at him, get out of here, Baldy. Get out of here, Baldy.
That's foul.
But like in other versions, it goes like he was being jeered, and they specifically targeted his bald head, his very bald spot, the spot on his head that is exposed to the sun and the heat, that was no longer covered by the hat that he was supposed. I was like, what is going on?
You mean the poison for Cusco? Cusco's poison. Cusco's poison. Poison prescription for Cusco.
Right? I was like, yo, the dude was bald. Why does that matter? It's like, nah, you don't understand. That dude was bald. And then he turns around and he goes, hey, yo, I'm just walking. He's like, get out of here, Baldy. It's like, all right, if you guys keep making fun of me, I'm going to send a bear to eat you.
It's a very specific threat.
And they're like, you can't do anything. And he just goes, all 42 of you are going to die. And he just walks away. And the bear just comes out of the woods. It's a she bear, and it mauls all 42 kids. Like these kids are running through the city, and it grabs all 42 kids and eats every single one of them.
I'm just peeping that.
There's two of them. Two bears that came out. There's two bears.
42 children. I get that.
No, it's 42 boys. You have to keep in mind. It's 42 boys, which is also like, and keep that thought. Say what you're going to say. But like, it's 42 boys. There's two she bears that come out of the woods. He goes, you're going to die. He's like, oh no. I was like, oh, you can't do anything. He leaves. Two she bears come out, attack, and all 40, these 42 boys in the village, mind you, get swarmed and eaten. Villagers don't do anything. Villagers just sit back. Villagers look at a legend and go, makes sense. That's it. Which to me tells me that those 42 boys were demons. Telling him to get out. We don't want you here. Because I know exactly who you are. And I know exactly where you come from. And I know exactly if you stay here, we lose our power. And he's telling like, yo, chill out. If you didn't say anything, I wouldn't do anything. And they're like, no, Baldy.
Ooh.
And so they insulted him with the one thing that they thought would cause him insecurity. And he says, okay, fine. That's fine. Two she bears. And they're like, what? Two she bears. And then they come out of the woods and they're like, what the? It was
That's true. And like what I was thinking is like, yo, if there were two she bears, it's not like the bears are going to lock on to just that group of people.
Yeah.
They're in the village.
Yeah.
So if someone gets in their way or there's someone else has food, they might just attack them.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Well, it only got the specific 42 children.
Yeah, 42 men.
Children, 42 boys. That's a lot. That's a lot of boys.
Yeah.
42?
Yes.
Specific 42.
Yes.
That's wild.
Specifically 42. And not all 42 were talking either. Because you do have like the ones that were jeering at him. But it wasn't all 42 that were talking. And then when you look at it, it becomes something, where it's sandwiched, it's so interesting because it becomes something where directly above that, he was talking to the people of the city. And in the city, he blessed the water, and the water became healing water. And then after that, the boys started jeering at him.
So get out of here.
And say, get out of here.
What you healing people in my city for?
Right. Why are you blocking our connection? Because now we can't do what we've been doing. What's going on? And then the 42 bears happen. And that consumption of those 42 was the elimination of the last bit of demonic possession was in there. So like, to me, I love the story because it's like on the surface, you're like, duh, Buddy just got called bald and it was petty and sent 42 two bears to go just murk these 42 boys. But when you really deep it and you really look at it in context, it's like God is he's so complete when he does things.
Yes.
That like, as he puts things in motion, he's not going to leave you with a problem.
Yes.
He's going to wipe out all the issues. And then on top of that, if you start doing something that changes your life, immediately you're going to be surrounded by people who are going to start jeering at you. Hey, why are you doing that? Why are you going to church all of a sudden? Man, stop it. Really? Adoration again? Dog, what's wrong with you? Oh, look at me. I'm trying to be Mr. Holy. Confession every single week.
What, you're a priest and you're wearing your cassock? For what? Oh, you're traditional. You're one of those.
Come on.
What?
Listen, why are you praying your holy hour?
For what?
What? You're not in seminary anymore. Come on, dog.
Exactly.
Oh, you think you're better than everybody else?
There's money involved.
Yeah. You don't have a mistress? Seriously? We all, like, come on, dog. We all do. Even Sarah has one. Like, what's wrong with you?
It's going to be the one that gets clipped.
Yeah. The sad part is that was actually said to me. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, dog.
That's
Like,
crazy.
It's wild. But that's the thing. Like, if you start to live your life a certain way and you start to pull away, you will start to see these little things pop up. And that's when you just go, yo, she bears. And you just say like, nah, just uproot it from the cause and be like, yo, you out. Delete them from your phone, start exiting from your life and just be like, yeah, I don't need you. We don't need that relationship.
I'm convinced. Make it the next t-shirt.
Yeah, she bears. She bears.
Like a terrifying grizzly bear on the front.
Yeah, but there's about 42 on the back. This is number 42.
And I ate every single one of them.
I
came to eat.
She bears. She ate.
That's good.
In every land, the greatest story still stands. Oh, whoa.
Man, that was a good show, man. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we have good shows, and other times I feel like we had a good show. Like, this was a good show.
No, for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you know, for all of us at Spirit Stream Studios, thank you so much for supporting us and letting Spirit Stream Studios know that you love us and you love everything that we do. We love you. You're very special.
Go forth and bear good fruit.
See you next time.
Two fathers, two paths, one shape. Oh, father to father, where life and faith meet.
Father to Father is a production of Spirit Stream Studios. All rights reserved.